All right. It's currently Saturday morning, and I just wanted to go over Friday's price action during NFP here. Friday was a pretty good day. I took about three trades, one break even, one small loss, and then one big winner. So I'm gonna go over those, and then Spen took. I believe he took one winner, one short. So he's gonna go over that a little bit later. But yeah, I just sort of wanted to go over the day, show you what our bias was, show you what we were looking for, and just sort of go over the trades I took. So starting off with the bias, if we zoom out and look at the 15-minute here, um, this was sort of our game plan going into the day. So at 8:30, we had red folder news, which created very obvious data highs. Um, this red candle here swept yesterday's lows, so we took out a lot of this liquidity from yesterday. And then on top of that, we were we were sort of reacting out of this 4 hour breaker, you could call it. And this is sort of like a unicorn as well, because it's a breaker block inside of a fair value gap. So you can see um, this news candle reacted out of this perfectly. So our bias for the day was going to be bullish until we hit those data highs on either NAS or ES. So if we drop down to the 1 here, you'll see that at around 8:45 we reacted at this 4 hour breaker and then started showing some bullish price action, and we assumed that the draw was going to be these data highs. So the first trade of the day I took here was a inverse play on the 1 minute, and I sort of marked it up here for you, and this was a break even play, but I decided to hop in as soon as this candle closed above the 1 minute. And what I really like about this play here is that we have a very obvious place for a stop loss. So a lot of the time when we're trading the inverse, we'll put our stop as a close back below the inverse, but a lot of the time that can get kind of sloppy depending on the close. But in this case, since we have a order block here supporting price, you can simply just put a hard stop below this order block. So that's where my stop was, and I was targeting the data highs for the day. So this was going to be a very big trade. This was the idea going into the day here, to target these data highs. So as soon as price takes this internal high here, I immediately put my stop to break even. We take the internal high, and then sadly price reversed and stopped me out at break even. So that was the first trade idea of the day. And the second trade I took was, I believe it was a $300 loss. I'll pull up my MT5 later to double check. But the second trade, and looking back on it, this really wasn't the cleanest trade, just because as you can see here, we were in this tight range. Like, this is just really ugly price action. We're just barcoding. This literally looks like you could scan this thing at Walmart for a TV here. It's just not ideal. But we decided to take it anyway, just because I had a lot of conviction in these data highs hitting. So this was the play. We inversed this 1 minute, and I decided to hop in as soon as this candle closed above. And again, I was targeting the data highs up here. So as you can see, we get a nice little push here. Or sorry, no, we didn't. So my game plan here was basically to put my stop to break even as soon as we took this internal high. In this case, we never took this high. We immediately just reversed and I got stopped out. I wanted to keep my stops tight just because this price action was super choppy. So unfortunately, I got stopped there for about $300. And that was the second trade of the day. The third trade of the day was this trade here. So I had this fair value gap marked up. And as you can see, this is sort of acting as resistance, which is always a good sign because if a fair value gap gets tested as resistance, a lot of the time we find it more likely that it's going to be used as support once it does get broken through. So that's what gave me a decent amount of conviction in this play. And as you can see, we get a really nice close on this 1 minute candle right here. So I hopped in as soon as this candle closed, put my stop about here, and decided to target the data highs on the day. So with this trade, I actually ended up taking profits right around here, and I'll tell you why. So this trade was about, first of all, this trade was about 48, 49 points, which I'm extremely happy with. And as you guys know from the previous videos, I have trouble holding my winners. So for me, this was a pretty big winner right off the bat, but that's not why I decided to take profits. I decided to take profits because, and this is why it's important to look at ES sometimes, I decided to take profits because if you look at ES here, ES also had these data highs. So while NASDAQ was moving towards these highs, ES was a lot closer to these data highs than NASDAQ was. So I decided to take profits as soon as ES took these highs because I knew that it could be forming a possible SMT, which is exactly what happened. So if you take a look here, you can see that, let me mark this up to make it a little bit more clear, SMT. So you can see that ES took these highs, and as soon as ES takes these highs, if you go back to NAS, you'll notice that it reverses extremely hard as soon as ES sweeps those data highs. So there was a thought process behind taking profit there, and I'm very happy I decided to take profit there. As you can see, as soon as ES takes it, we immediately reverse. So I wanted to play it safe. I saw the bearish SMT there, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to take my profits on the day. I made about $1,000 on that trade, which meant I was green about $700 on the day. And yeah, those were the 3 trades I took. And, you know, I'm happy with the performance. It's a good way to end the week. And yeah, I'm going to swing the camera over to Spencer, and he'll go over the trade he took for the day, which was also a pretty nice trade, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to pass it over to Spenny Boy.
Hey guys, I had a bunch of tikiri masala last night. So if I gotta cut real quick. Oh, he's back! The stomach did a 360 but spun back around. I was like, yeah, you good, bro? Oh shit, there goes the butter chicken! Alright, so in all seriousness, I want to just go over this this trade that I took for Friday on NFP week. Seb took a beautiful long right down here, and I took a fairly nice short. So the most important thing with this trade was we had an SMT with ES with this data high right here and this high right here. So we go to ES, here's the data high, and here's the high that ES sweeps. And when we go to NQ, we don't get that sweep, which you guys probably know, that's an SMT, which is great for bearish pressure. Or it's just more of a bearish sign on NQ, which is, it's great to see for this short. So I took this short on the 2 minute. I don't know if anyone took that on the 1, but would have been dumb because there's like just so many little gaps. You want to make these gaps a lot cleaner, and you know, the 2 is just cleaner, better entry there. So 2, we get the candle closed right here. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you guys. We get the candle close right here, and then we get this nice retest. I bought in on the retest, and then I put my stop to break even. When we kind of swept this liquidity right here. 1 second. So these kind of candles right here, these down close candles and up close candles. Once we swept that a little bit, that's when I went to break even. So it's a risk-free trade. Amazing stuff to see. And I put my TP right around here, netting me $564 profit for that trade. And it was like a one trade day, so one trade and I was off, really happy. That's an NFP Friday. I can't complain. The only thing I can complain about is my TP. I was, I don't know. I was already break even. I wasn't. It wasn't that risky of a trade, and I took my TP. Or my TP was a little bit early. I should have really put my TP by these relative equal lows because that's just a spot that gets hit so often. And that's the only thing I would have liked to change. So, you have all of these relative lows below right here, and look at this thing perfectly sweep this liquidity, the relative equal lows, and then just rally back up. So that's the only thing I would have liked to change. But other than that, great week. Seb and I are up quite a bit on the week, which is really nice. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.